Well, guy, this is your bro or friend, G. So how are you all guys? I hope all are good. Well, so as request, from one subscriber, today I bring another fourth part. What if Goku ended up in One Piece Part 3, and this video will be shorts video, because if I make full chapter it will take 20 to 30 minutes, and also time goes to put images, so I make short video. Okay guys, well let's with story. The battle between Goku vs. Marigold and Sandersonia was about to begin. As Goku got into his fighting stance, Marigold was lifting her axe and swung at Goku, who jumped back to avoid being sliced from the shoulder to his hip. Not letting up, Marigold began a relentless attack on Goku. He was forced to evade the axe, content to study the reptile-like woman's fighting style. Just as Goku ducked at a strike meant to behead him, he took a quick glance at Sandersonia coming from the side and dodged her tail attack. Relentless, both Marigold and Sandersonia went on a barrage of attacks, but none of them would connect with Goku since he moved faster than they could hit him. Changing tactics, Marigold spit out a purple OOZ that Goku noticed was melting a small part of the ring. Best not get hit with that, Goku thought as he continued to evade their attacks. Sandersonia was keeping Goku busy with her barrage of attacks but could not connect with him. Goku wasn't worried until he noticed that Marigold wasn't in front of him. He soon realized that she must have gone behind while he was fighting Sandersonia and was going to strike him behind again. Clever, but it's not going to work, Goku thought. He was right. Marigold was right behind him with her axe in the air and waiting for the moment to strike him. Quickly Goku slammed his fists down on Sandersonia, who plummeted downwards on the floor, which caused the entire arena to shake. Next Goku turned around to see Marigold about to slam her axe on his head. I only got one shot at this, Goku thought. He stood his ground and raised his hands to grab the axe before it landed on his head. Marigold was startled and shocked at the man's reflexes. Not that many have the ability to stop a moving blade with their bare hands. Now Goku and Marigold were locked in a battle of strength to overpower the other. Marigold thought she had the upper hand at Goku since she was pushing the blade towards him. I am done playing around, Goku said. That made Marigold wince. He grabbed the handle and the bottom part of the axe and along with Marigold threw her across the arena. She landed with such force it caused the arena to explode with dust and rock scattering across the arena and into the stadium. The crowds had to duck under to avoid being hit with the debris. Goku was the only one standing. He looked at Hancock and smiled. I guess I win, right? Goku grinned. I don't think it's over. Do you think so, Marigold? A voice was heard behind Goku, certainly not Sister Sonia. Both sisters' laughter was heard by Goku. He turned around to see two dark outline figures inside the dust that formed around the arena. As the dust receded, Goku had a look of horror. Sandersonia was tossing the stone girl like if it was a ball. He raised his hand at Sandersonia. Stop. What are you doing? Goku yelled at her, but Sandersonia looked at the statue and back at the Saiyan, smiling devilishly. I am going to crush her, she said in a low whisper. Goku was now worried if she breaks the statue, Marguerite may never come back. He pleaded with Sandersonia and then turned towards Hancock. This is between us, not her, Goku yelled. He was now on the verge of dashing towards them and get the stone girl, but was worried that he might shatter her instead. Goku was running out of options until one idea popped into his head. Go ahead, crush her, see if I mind, Goku said casually, shocking everyone considering he was pleading them not to do it a few seconds ago. Okay then, I'll go ahead and destroy her into pieces. Sandersonia spoke as she lifted the statue up in the sky, watching Goku very closely. Come on a little higher, Goku thought. When Sandersonia lifted the stone to the maximum height she can lift it, Goku dashed towards Sandersonia's face. Taioken, Goku shouted. Immediately a burst of light shined across the arena, blinding everyone except Goku, who swiftly grabbed the state and kicked Marigold and Sandersonia to the ground. Everyone around the stadium screamed in terror as they were momentarily blinded and couldn't see. Hancock gritted her teeth as the blinding light affected her too. What did you do? Asked Hancock when her vision cleared up to see both her sisters on the ground again and Goku the only one standing. I just used an attack that blinds the opponent momentarily, Goku said as he held the statue carefully over his shoulder. Goku disappeared again and reappeared in front of Hancock and the unconscious Luffy. Ah, big sister, Sandersonia and Marigold shouted, worried the Saiyan might attack her. Instead, Goku placed the statue near the throne to protect her from being caught in Goku's battle against Marigold and Sandersonia. Goku got up and looked at Marguerite. He placed his arm on her shoulder and sighed. "I'll beat them and return you back to normal, I promise. I don't know if you can hear me, but I just wanted to let you know," Goku said as he turned towards the steps and walked towards them. Hancock huffed in annoyance. "Bah, you men are troublesome." Goku stopped in his tracks and turned his head to glare at the Empress. "You just piss me off even more," Goku said as he continued to walk down the steps. Hancock fell faint to the Saiyan's words. "Big sister." Marigold and Sandersonia cried out. They glared at the Saiyan coming down the steps and struck at him. Goku saw them and disappeared from sight as the two sisters struck only the air. Immediately, Goku appeared on the stadium behind the two sisters with his body turned away from them. He spun around to see all three sisters and crossed his arms before he spoke. "Whatever issue you have with me, leave my friends out of it. This is between you and me only." Hancock bristled. She hated being ordered to do anything, much less by an inferior man of all people. Hancock was seething with anger, her beautiful face contorting in rage. But for some odd reason, Hancock felt lightheaded and a certain warmth rush in her cheeks when the man spoke to her, voice filled with such strength, leaving no room to argue. She dismissed these feelings as an odd side effect of the distress that had afflicted her ever since Goku had taken in the sight of her back. "Sisters, I want this filthy creature gone now," Hancock ordered. "Yes, big sister," Sandersonia and Marigold replied as they faced Goku. "This time we are going full power," Marigold said as she engulfed her body in flames. Sandersonia's hair started to form into snakes but made of hair. "It may just be hair, but their bites are as strong as steel," Sandersonia hissed as the two sisters surrounded Goku. "Do you think you can stop us now?" said Sandersonia. Goku looked at both fighters and smirked. "I guess I'll go full power as well," Goku said even though he's lying. Goku clenched his fists tightly and gritted his teeth. "Ha! Goku yelled as he was powering up. It felt like the entire island was shaking because of him. What is he doing? Sandersonia thought. Suddenly his body was flickering a red aura that looked similar to Marigold's technique, Kaioken. Goku yelled. Suddenly, a red aura flamed Goku's body as it turned a shade of light red. What type of devil fruit does this man possess? Marigold thought. Hancock grew impatient. Enough. Take him out, sisters. Hancock spoke. Yes, big sister. Marigold and Sandersonia said. They charged at Goku, who wasn't moving. We got him now, Sandersonia thought. As they inched closer, Goku disappeared from their view. What the? Marigold said. Kameha, me. Marigold turned around to see he was behind her with his hands cupped together. No, Marigold screamed. Ha! Goku shouted as he pushed his hands forward and a blue energy ball came from Goku's hands struck Marigold, causing her to lose balance and hit her ceased. Sandersonia, who sadly got caught on fire. Oh, no, Sister Sonia. Marigold cried desperately, trying to calm her sister down, but Sandersonia was frantically trying to douse the flame by moving around, to which made the situation 10x worse. Sandersonia accidentally crashed into Marigold, which caused them to fall over to the arena and down towards a pit full of spikes. Screams erupted from the crowd as they watched Marigold and Sandersonia falling in. No! Goku shouted as he ran towards them and instantly disappeared. The two sisters closed their eyes, waiting for their impending doom when nothing happened. Marigold and Sandersonia slowly opened their eyes to see that it was the man they were fighting mere seconds ago trying to save them. Goku was floating in the air holding onto them as he was flying them back to the arena. I got you, don't worry, I won't let you fall. Goku smiled at them. He lifted them back onto the arena where thousands of spectators were cheering that Marigold and Sandersonia were alive. When Sandersonia was about to get up, her cape had slipped a little, causing the people to scream in terror, the Gorgon Eye. If we see it, we will turn to stone. The crowd yelled. Hancock's eyes widened. She got up from her throne and pointed to the gate leading away from the stadium. Everyone, get away as quickly as possible, before the Gorgon Eye is exposed. Hancock shouted. Immediately the crowd of women started running away from the arena. Before the cover could fall over, Goku jumped onto her back, trying to cover the mark as best as he could. Don't move, Goku told Sandersonia until Marigold rushed over to her sister's aid and could put back on her cover. Sandersonia sighed in relief. She looked up to see the Saiyan standing over them. Why? Why did you help us? She asked wearily. We were your enemies and yet you treat us as if we were allies. Goku stood silent for a moment. Whatever this thing is that you don't want your people to see, it has no bearing on our fight. Besides, I don't think either of us really wants to continue this battle. Goku responded. He turned to see Hancock with her hand over her face trying to hide her tears from showing. Goku flew towards her and Hancock saw him coming. She wiped away her tears and glared at him. Going to mock me now, huh? Hancock's voice cracked, threatening to start tearing up again. No, I'm not going to. I came to ask you if you would keep your side of the deal, Goku asked softly. Hancock wanted to respond when Luffy started waking up. Huh. Oi, spiky-haired man, can you get me out of these? Goku turned to look at Hancock and she didn't even try to object. By the way, it's not spiky-haired man, it's Goku. He smiled while breaking Luffy out of his bounds. Thanks, Goku. Luffy grinned as they were now shaking hands. Ahem. Hancock cleared her throat to get the two men's attention. Luffy turned towards Hancock and was the first to speak. So will you turn her back to normal? Because all she did was help us. He says to Hancock. Hancock closed her eyes. Never had she actually considered complying with a man's wish before, and it was this thought that scared her. No, I must first confirm their true nature. A sudden thought went through the Empress's mind, causing a small smirk to cross her lips. I just have to uproot these men's true desires, a test. Hancock thought. She looked at the two men before she spoke. Indeed, I have the ability to reverse their petrification. However, I shall only grant one request between the two of you. Goku and Luffy looked at each other in confusion before Hancock continued. You mentioned before that you need transportation off the island, correct? Well, my proposition is this, I reverse what I've done to this woman here, Hancock gestured towards Marguerite. Or you have my word that you'll leave this island safely to wherever it is that you need to be. But, let me be clear that only one of you will be leaving this island. She says to them. Goku and Luffy were shocked by the Empress proposition. Wait, you can't do that. Both of us need a ship off this island. Luffy yelled in outrage. Choosing the Marguerite's freedom over his one chance off the island didn't even bother him. It was the fact that the Amazon Empress had forced them to decide between Luffy and Goku on who would be allowed to leave the island while the other was left behind. That didn't sit right with him. Luffy never abandoned his friend, and even though the rubber boy had only known Goku for a short while, he considered the orange-clad martial artist one of his friends. Luffy felt tempted to force the Empress and her sisters to give them a ride off the island but was prevented taking such actions when Goku stepped in. Goku positioned himself in front of Luffy, who stopped to stare into the uncharacteristically serious expression on the Saiyan's face. It's okay, Luffy, I know you're friends. But you'll be stuck here then. Luffy exclaimed. It's fine, Luffy, there's no point in arguing with me, you need to leave more than I do and we both know it. Both stared at each other trying to see who would back down but both sides wouldn't budge. After a few minutes, both Goku and Luffy laughed and turned towards the Kuja Empress who was waiting for their decision. Bending down on his knees and pressing his forehead towards the ground, Luffy bowed, an action that surprised all of the women present. I never abandoned my friend, so please turn her back. Luffy said. The same goes for me. I'd rather be stranded here than choose myself over my friends. Goku added with a broad smile on his face. In the far-off stands of the stadium sat an elderly Kuja woman who observed the scene. To have made such a decision without a single hesitation. The elderly Kuja mused in silent shock. Especially as powerful as they are. Particularly the boy with haki of that caliber, bowing his head so willingly. The old Kuja thought as she saw the strained look of consternation on Boa Hancock's face. What will you do now, Hancock? Well, guys, I finally done with fourth part of this short video. I don't know how I completed fourth part, it's so afford to put images or find imaginary images, and also clip up to put in this video. I don't know how I make it, but for you guys I put a fort on this video. So please guys, if you like my fanfiction story, I will try to make fifth part. So please like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. Not for own voices, but for putting images. Thanks you.